set out for adventure. In the summer of '65, we didn't know where we would go or where we might arrive, but we set forth. 2 nights of the road, hitching for our rides. We had no money, but we had a lot of pride. By the end of the day, we were in Temiscaming. Got a guitar and some songs to sing, but the mill had no work there, so we left for North Bay. Then Sudbury and Chaplow, which put us to the test. We worked in the mines at Renaby, and then we headed out west. Moving on to Marathon, no work to be had. Things were looking bad. Got to the peg in a cattle truck. We were still going, though we were down on our luck. Headed across Saskatchewan in a car with 2 cowboys who were headed for the coast. And underneath the big sky, we raised up whiskey in a toast. Flying by Capel, does it matter what's the name? Across this lonely landscape, they all just look the same. Calgary to Red Deer, onward to Grand Prairie, westward to Fort St. John, up the Alaska Highway, still playing and singing our song. Riding up the highway, we drove on through the night, through the forests and the mountains, made it into Anchorage at the morning's early light. Well, we headed out of town. There was no work there for us to do, so we headed down south again. It seemed to us it was the same refrain. We got to Glen Allen and helped build a cabin there, in return for a ride to Idaho as pay for our share. We headed for the Okanagan and camped on the shores of the lake, taking in the parties, being on the make. Then we headed for Vancouver, and from there we set apart. I started back on the road to home. This time I was alone. Back across the mountains, the prairies and the lakes, people just blew on by, didn't give a care. Made it back to Toronto, but the adventure did not stop there. It continued down to Provincetown and Providence, alright. But when I got back home again, Uncle Sam had sent a note I didn't dare defy. So off once more I went to Great Lakes, Illinois. Just me and 1,000 other boys. We set out for adventure. It was the summer of '65. We didn't know where we would go or where we might arrive.